Cash Lansky, a walking hip-hop movement of a musician who reminded me how hip-hop captured me the moment I heard his music. The energy that carries his delivery, the distinctive cadence, the architected lyrics that allow you to relate to his experience and perspective on the world. He's also a cherished husband and father, a bona fide stomped down jewel who is incredibly respected in our city of the Southwest, Tucson.
Hey, look. Had your eye for forgiveness when that reaper come. Bad decision and you fuck now your ass is done. How you think your mama feel that it's not a problem? You gotta do this shit yourself so you don't have been soft up in years, busting on the plug. He got everything I drop, he's the one we love. Got the type of qualities that you can't change. Everything is for the taking, so I have to keep. White America pay still when you hear this thing. I just hope you understand. Still not for the boosters, getting love from the shooters. Conversation was hustlers, stay away from the losers. Tucson, that's my time. Thank y'all, I appreciate each and every one.
All right, brother, so where does the name Cash Lansky come from?
Let's see. So the name Cash came from, like, the homies back in the day. We used to run the streets. It was just something that was kind of like what we was after. You know what I mean? So I took Cash and I ran with that for the longest. And then you remember when MySpace first popped off. When I went to go put my name up there and I wanted to, show my music, there was probably like 50,000 Cashes out there. It was crazy, bro. So I was like, dang, man, I'm gonna have to change my name. And I didn't want to change Cash. Like, it felt like it was me.
Yeah.
So I was just like, what am I gonna do? So I was like, I always thought rappers with two names was dope. You know what I mean? So I was like, let me figure out what I'm gonna do. I'm a real big fan of mob movies.
Yeah.
And Meyer Lansky always been like one of my favorite mob guys.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, I'm gonna run with this Lansky. And I remember saying it one day, and the homie was like, that's it. I was like, why you say that? He was like, man, because it just sticks. Like, once you see it, hear it, you'll always remember it. And I've just been running with Cash Lansky ever since, bro.
Yeah, it does have that stick to it. When you say it, it's like Cash Lansky.
It's like, all right, well, even if you don't know what it is, it makes you want to go look.
Yeah.
What's this? And then especially when you be like, Cash Lansky, and you see it's a black dude, you're like, hold on, what the hell? So yeah, man, it just felt like it had a good ring to it. So I stayed with it.
And just to piggyback off of Cash, like when I hear Cash, I hear like an urgency to go get it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I've seen you perform a few times. And when I recently saw you at Club Congress, it really dawned on me the Cash part, that urgency, because your delivery and your energy when you perform is electric. You know, I seen you jump to the corner of the stage, the other corner, the floor with the audience, and it was felt, like when you perform Time and Impeccable from May All Your Dreams Come True. Like, I felt that shit.
Hell yeah.
With the choir when it comes in.
Hell yeah.
I'm like, yo, like, and this is just something I want to put out there. Like, I hope to see you perform that like in a stadium one day.
Man, that's the dream, bro.
Yeah.
I don't even want to say it's a dream. That's my goal. And it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And like, I want to do it with the choir, with the band, and like go all the way out. Like you see in the video, we kind of, we used the choir for that joint. But man, I think when it comes to music, like, I like creating music, but performing is probably like my favorite thing to do, because that's my chance to get you to feel how I feel. Right. And if I can make you leave there feeling the way I felt when I created that song, or how I think that song should feel, then I feel like I serve my purpose. Yeah. But yeah, going back to the Cash name, it's funny because the urgency of it is, like, go back. When people spell my name, like they put it on flyers and stuff, they always want to put a $. Yeah. And I always make them take it off. I hated it since I've been rapping. I've always hated it. Like, it's more than just that $. You know what I mean? like you said, man, it's urgent. Like we know the power of cash.
Right.
It's a dollar bill, it's a piece of paper.
Right.
But we know how much it can change people's lives.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's where I kind of turned it into the art part of my music.
Yeah. I definitely caught that, and like I said, I want that to manifest for you, brother.
Hell yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah. So, where are you from, and what made you decide on Tucson?
So I was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
I left Pittsburgh in '91, moved to Anchorage, Alaska.
Yeah.
And then I moved to Tucson in '99.
Okay.
And all those moves was just my mom. Like, we had family that lived in Alaska. My mom was trying to switch it up, different lifestyle, something better for her kids. So she shot up to Alaska, stayed up there. That's pretty much where I was raised, man. That's where I, became me. I think it's probably like 97, 98. My mom got arthritis real bad. So the cold was always messing with her body and her bones and stuff. So she was trying to find somewhere to move. We just happened to meet this family that was from Tucson.
Yeah.
And they came up there and they was like ranting and raving about Tucson this, Tucson that. I'm like, we ain't never been here, nothing, bro. My mom sold her stuff, packed up. She moved down here first, left us up there with my grandma, came down here and got her apartment right on 29th and Swan. Ooh. Freedom Park, man. Ooh. Freedom Park. And that's how I had that community time on Deuce 9. It was kind of like a full circle for me, man. Yeah. But brought us down here, bro. I didn't know nobody when I first got down here. Not one soul. I was honestly depressed like the first 6 months. Yeah. And a culture shock. Yeah. It was completely different for me coming down here, man. It was like a whole nother world that I had to adapt to. But yeah, man, I've been here since. Yeah. That's interesting you said Pittsburgh, because every time I see you, it's like a color coordination. You'll include yellow somewhere. And it's crazy because I don't do it on purpose. Okay, like, so that's not a stealing thing? No, I got a stealing tattoo on my neck, man, but it wasn't anything to do. But for some reason, it just plays a part. Okay. My wife said the same thing. Yeah. Where and when did you start making music, and how did it expand from there? So I got an older cousin named Shadiq, live in Alaska, and he's been in music since I can remember. Since I got to Alaska, he was already doing music, playing trumpets, learning sounds, messing with the keyboard and stuff. And he was like he was shit. He had to be about 16, 17, probably 15. And seeing how he was just so in love with music just inspired me to just want to try to even do it. You know what I mean? Like, let me try to write some rhymes and shit. And I remember trying to rhyme like ice and nice together, and I just couldn't get it, like, you know what I mean, like him. But it was just, it was challenging, man. And I think, when it comes to creating music, it's a puzzle, and you just got to put it together. Yeah. That's how I see it. And so I used to see how he would be in the studio, and he would be writing, and he would do all these songs. Like, he would record these songs, and they wouldn't come out, but he was just getting better and better. So I understood that process of it. Okay, as long as I just keep doing this, I can get better at it. So I would write here and there, but I would never like rap in front of people, because I was always, man, afraid, because if you trash, man, it's bad, bro. You know what I mean? Like, especially back then. But if you can't, real quick. So I remember this one time when I got down here, they was rapping in the bathroom in high school, Rincon. Yeah. And I was just like, man, I'm finna jump out the gate on this one and see how it goes. And I remember, bro, I kicked like 12 bars, and everybody was just kind of like, oh shit, we didn't know that nigga could do that. And I was just like, oh, okay, I got something. You know what I mean? Yeah. So my partner that passed away, I think Serrano, you remember him? Yeah. So his older brother used to go to the studio all the time, just tag along with him, man. And I just remember recording my first song and just hearing it and just being like, bet, this is what I'm gonna do. You know what I mean? And there was just that moment, bro, where I just felt like I really want to try to do this and see what can come out of it. And I think that's what keeps me going this far, because I want to see what the end result is.
So that was that moment for you. That's what I wanted to ask you.
That was that moment. I think when I first heard my first recording, I really didn't care for my voice at the time, but that's like figuring out who you are. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of people, once they hear their voice on the recording, they're like, oh, I hate my voice. Awkward. But I realized that was my uniqueness, was my voice. You know what I mean? Because I used to always be like, damn, how come I don't sound like them? How come I don't do that? But once I realized that was my uniqueness, I was like, oh, it's game time.
And that's wild, because the first time I heard you, your voice and your cadence is what separated you. I was like, this shit is way unique.
Yeah.
And that's what I like the best. You know, so it's wild. Like, sometimes we might think like, I don't like this or that.
Yeah. Bro, I fought with that shit for a while, man. Damn, how can I try to enunciate this different or have a different cadence? But I'm like, yo, this is me. Like, this is my art. You know what I mean? Like, you can't tell an artist how to use this paintbrush. You can't tell me how to use my voice. You know what I mean? So I ran with it that way.
I really, it comes off gold.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that.
So what were you doing? Paint a picture of what you were doing before you decided to pursue music.
Hooping.
Yeah.
Basketball was truly my first love. You know what I mean? I remember spending hours and hours practicing. Me and my homeboy Serrano used to go to Eastside Place on Pantano. They had the hoop that was outside, and they used to have the lights that you could turn on. And I remember all the homies would go out and play, you know, go to parties and stuff, and me and him be out there shooting jump shots, dribbling hours, 4 o'clock in the morning, him and I out there playing. That's kind of like really all I really did was play basketball, bro, and hustle. You know what I mean? But that was it, man. It's crazy now I think about it, because I really went from like, I think when he passed away, my love for playing basketball kind of went away. And it's crazy. Like I just figured that out, because I'm like, damn, I don't hoop no more. But that was like the after effects of that. Man, hoop, work, hustle.
And basketball is all about running with the pack, and then you splinter off from that pack. You might have one partner that you run with heavier than everybody else. So I understand that when you say, like, when he went, the love went as well.
It did, man. It's crazy. It really did. Like, him passing away kind of fucked me up. Left me kind of lost in a bit, because everything that we kind of had planned in life was kind of, we gonna be involved in it. Like, you start this business, I'm gonna start this, we gonna do this, we gonna do that. So when he passed away, it was just like, dang, everything that kind of went with him just kind of like went with him. And I just kind of let basketball go. Still a fan of basketball for life, but just that everyday grind of playing basketball and trying to go to the rec centers to hoop or try to join the league, it was just like, nah. And then I had my oldest daughter already, and then my youngest daughter, she was probably, 6 months. She was probably 9 months. So I had already had 2 kids by then. So responsibilities was really kicking in at the time too. You know what I mean? So it's kind of just like, all right, we're just gonna push it to the back.
And that's interesting. You said that about him. You know, as I was telling you before we got on air, I went up to California last week, and I was listening to the new Nas, and I was listening to you. And that's just how I see you, the respect and the reverence I have for you as an artist. And I'm hearing you talk about, you know, when he passed away, it made me think of Nas. That was your ill will.
Facts,
Facts,
bro. Facts.
You know,
easily. So. I always compare certain stuff that like, I feel like even in Paid in Full, like I was Ace, he was Mitch type shit. You know what I mean? Like that was my guy like that. So yeah, man, but that was another motivating factor as well when it came to this rap shit. Like he was the one that kind of put the battery in my back and was like, nigga, go. Like, I remember this time he had, there was some kind of like rap battle. It wasn't a battle, it was more like a rap competition, and it was in Albuquerque. And he read it in maybe like a Source magazine or some shit he seen it in. Bro, no hesitation. He was just like, yo, we going.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, I ain't got no bread to go out there. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about no gas. Don't worry about no hotel. We going.
Yeah.
And I remember getting out there and we found out like it was some bullshit. Like you had to pay like $500 to get in the competition, all type of shit. But still, just the fact that my mans was ready to hop in the whip for this rap shit just for me was crazy to me, bro. So that was another factor that was just like, all right, you got to do this. It's almost like my promise to him for me to continue to do this rap shit because of the belief that he had in me. Yeah.
And that's a fire that'll never burn out.
Ever.
As long as you breathing, that'll never fucking burn out.
Ever, bro.
You know? So, yeah, that's the blessing of it.
Yes, sir.
You know, and kind of to loop around back to other artists, what were some of your biggest influences as a musician and how did they influence you growing up?
It's crazy because I don't think I had like one certain artist that just influenced me. I have to give like thanks and praise to my grandma and my mom for always playing fire ass music around the house. Like I don't think I've never heard my grandma listen to anything whack, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like that's crazy to say that, but just thinking like even my mom, like even when it came to gospel music, like they was still listening to fire ass gospel music. It's just you even if you weren't paying attention, once you heard it 2 or 3 times, you're gonna be singing along to it. Cleaning the house, listening to gospel music. But I think like I'm a big East Coast fan when it comes to music, bro. So like the Jays, the Bigs, you know, the Nas's, like the State Properties, like that shit like really was like ingrained. Like I was just listening to Prodigy's HNIC album right now on the way over here. You know what I mean? And I just found out that they put that shit back on Tidal because it wasn't on there. And like I always loved music with substance that was talking about something. I felt like if it didn't have any substance to it, if it was just bullshit, bro, like it wouldn't even register in my head, or it almost made me feel like I'm not learning nothing. And that was one thing that I always took out of music, man. I've learned so much from music, from rap lyrics. You know what I'm saying? Like I always see people like, oh, rap could be bad. Yeah, rap can be bad. Just depends on what you're listening to and how you take it and how you're applying it to your life. You know what I mean? And you know, I didn't grow up with my dad. So like rap kind of raised me in the sense too of giving me this knowledge that a young black kid is searching for. You know what I mean? That's what I think I put in my music now. I'll be saying shit that I wish somebody said to me. You know what I mean? Growing up or shit even now. I still say shit. I'll listen to something I said like, damn, nigga, I needed that. You know what I mean? Like to keep moving, to keep going, the motivation. So that's what I try to do. But yeah, man, I just took inspiration from everything. Michael Jackson, James Brown, Al Green, like all them, bro. Like they were just, even like James Brown, his performances are insane, bro.
Don't get me started on James.
Insane, bro. And my grandma always had like videos playing and songs playing. And like even Michael Jackson, just think. This nigga Michael Jackson did the same fucking dance moves 20 years, bro. But they was always so cold when he did it.
People was passing out when he did that shit.
Exactly. Like Michael Jackson probably has one of the greatest Super Bowl performances ever. This nigga stood for like 5 minutes and didn't say a word, and people, bro, what?
And I'm still trying to do the moonwalk and King,
bro.
You know what I'm saying?
That energy is. I understood that as a young kid. So, I knew like when I wanted to perform certain stuff or songs, I knew I wanted to always be energetic. And I always got that from that era of performers.
So we have a lot of similarities. So what I'm hearing from you is like your mother and your grandmother, they put you in alignment.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, musically and just I'm sure everything else.
Respect, manners,
respect,
how to treat people, everything, man. I learned that from my mom and my grandma.
Absolutely. And also your influence with East Coast hip hop.
Yeah.
You know, for me, when we were coming up, you know, it was Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre. It was West Coast heavy. But I remember probably elementary, one of my best friends slid me a Mobb Deep album. And I was like, what the fuck is this? You know, and then I got heavy on Wu-Tang, Nas, and it was over, especially Wu-Tang, like it was over for me. But like you said, the difference was, and not to knock any other region or coast, there was just a difference, like the lyrics were different. The language, obviously, and the substance. Like, I learned so much from those three, like Mobb Deep, Nas, Wu-Tang. Just the science that they were dropping. And just hip-hop for us, when we were coming up, that was like our Malcolm and Martin, our big brothers, our cousins. So we gravitated towards that. And that's also something that I see in you, like the Les Trois Deux, the Three Gods album. There's a song in particular, Death is Not the Answer. And one of my favorite lines, because it brings that substance, like I can see somebody any age getting put onto knowledge. You went into a few lines, you said, caught in the middle, not playing second fiddle, trying to be Malcolm after the perm. They want me Malcolm Little. Stuck in the cage, feeling this rage. What does it do for the mental? It's all the design, controlling the mind, and turn around playing the victim.
That's crazy to hear somebody say that shit back.
That's my shit right there. So,
people slept on that song.
Man, hey, the whole album is dope, but
thank you, man.
That one, I was like, nah, he's got it. Because, you know, it just goes back. I remember reading the autobiography of Malcolm X when I was like a freshman in high school. A teacher put me onto it. And you put that whole book in that bar. You said, I'm trying to be Malcolm after the perm. They want me Malcolm Little. Like,
they don't want you to reach that.
They don't want you to reach that. You know, it's a whole metamorphosis, especially as a black male, you know, that Malcolm pretty much exemplified for all of us to follow.
Real shit.
So that really hit me, man, and I thank you for that line, like, because that was cold.
Nah, man, thank you, bro. Like I said, man, I always felt like people kind of slept on that. I know that project was definitely like, it was out of my normal realm of recording, even beat selection. The sound of it was definitely different, but that's exactly what I wanted. It was something that I wanted to create with the homie Megs and be like, okay, y'all might not get it now. Either you're gonna get it years later or you're gonna get it after I'm gone. And I'm okay with that. I'm like, my true praise that I'm gonna get, and it's sad to say, is once I'm gone. I know how people get treated once they're gone, you know what I mean? And like, that's fine with me. I'm okay with that. But that was that's one of those projects, it's gonna come back around. For sure.
It'll come back around for everybody else.
So the people the people who got it. You know what I mean? And like I said, bro, to hear you spit those lines back to me is like a humbling moment. Cause it's like, okay, it served its purpose. You know what I mean? And like I said, your cadence, I wasn't gonna get up here and try to mess up the cadence, because your cadence is so unique. It's fine, bro. Like, you hit it.
The way you spit them bars, man, it was like, damn. The cadence was cold in one sense, but then when you break down what you were saying, I was like, I need to say that because that needs to be appreciated, what he did.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You know? So yeah, man, that was fire.
Going back to the influence of music, Alaska is like Tucson. It's a melting pot. You get people from all over. You get people who catch cases everywhere, run to Alaska, California, Chicago. So like, that was another thing when it came musically. Like, We had a bunch of people that would bring West Coast music up there. We had a bunch of cats from down south. I remember when I'm Bout It came out, and there was like 2 niggas had it on VHS, and they was trying to like run around the hood and dub it on VCRs so everybody can have it. But I remember like how that shit spread up there in Alaska, bro. Like we had, you know, Vice Lords, Gangsta Disciples come from Chicago, you know what I mean? Everything, bro, come through Alaska, and it was a melting pot. And it was, Alaska wasn't really on no gang shit really growing up. Everybody was trying to get money. Like even different neighborhoods that really wasn't fucking with each other, fucked with each other when it came to getting paper, bread, bro. That and like I feel like that played a major part in who I am as well. Like it's not about what we can do on our own. It's how the fuck can we come together to build something. You know, we don't have to like each other, you know what I mean? But how can we build a bigger platform, a bigger something for us to all grow into? And I feel like Alaska kind of taught me that.
Talk about Tucson and how it influences your work, your music.
Tucson. One thing I realized, there's no other place in the world, I should say, that's like Tucson. Tucson's completely different. Like the whole aesthetic of Tucson is completely different. I feel like Tucson still has a town mentality, but it's growing into this city. And I feel like Tucson's gonna make you earn the respect. Tucson's gonna make you earn their love. Like they not just gonna give it to anybody. You know what I mean? So it's, and I know how like finicky Tucson can be as well. Like if they don't fuck with you, they don't fuck with you. You know what I mean? And and if they do, you better not fuck it up. You know what I mean? Like you're when they say you repping for the city, they take that shit serious. Super serious. So I always felt like I had to carry myself in a certain manner when it came to representing Tucson. Like I only wanted to highlight the greatness of the city. Everybody in this city know the bad already. You know what I mean? Like we know what goes on here. Everybody in the fucking world knows what goes on around here because we're so close to the border. So it's already like a highlight as a terrible place. Everywhere is a terrible place if you go look for it. You know what I mean? But Tucson has this fucking the beauty, man. You know what I mean? And it's I was thinking this the other day, bro, like all these other cities, they have all these bright lights, big buildings. Like we really have to dig deep and get inspiration from cactuses. You know how hard that is?
But a cactus is strong though.
A cactus is exactly. That was my point.
You see a saguaro cactus, just to drop a gem, it takes 10 years just to grow an inch.
Come on, man.
So what kind of, resiliency and strength you got to come from that?
So that's like, I base everything off of that. Like we have to get inspiration from that. And if you dig deep enough, bro, there ain't nothing I can't do. That's the mentality Tucson gave me. There's nothing that I can't do if I don't put my mind to it. Like I always feel like people say like, you could do whatever you want if you put your mind to it, but you have to be able to put in that work that goes behind it. People leave that part of it out.
The work is everything.
Exactly. Like even when it comes to manifesting is real as fuck. But if you don't put the work behind manifesting, you know what I mean? Like that's not how that works. It's not, oh yeah, I want a Bentley and a big house, bing, and the shit. Nah, hell no. You got to work for that shit. You got to show up every day and show the universe that that's what you want. And then eventually it's going to give it to you. Like it ain't going to give it to you, but you're going to earn it.
You're going to earn it, and the more work you put in, the faster it comes.
Exactly.
That's one thing I really I knew, but once I really started putting in like that serious work, just like going back to basketball.
Same thing, exactly.
Anything else in life that I crossed over and tried, I said, I'm taking that hoop mentality of when I was going to the YMCA at 5 a.m. before school to work on my game.
Sir.
So it's no different with your craft. It's no different. And it's like Tucson, we have that mentality where we have a chip on our shoulders.
Because
I had a teammate, a homeboy I was playing ball with at Mesa Community College, and he came back home with me one weekend, and he's from LA, and he had never been here, and he was like, man, y'all got dirt roads and shit. Like, nigga, what kind of shit? What the fuck? He was like, it's a cowboy town. So when we went back to school, he was like, man, Kez is a cowboy. You know what I'm saying?
That's
like, he a
funny.
cowboy. I was like, yeah, cowboy. I'm gonna run your ass out the gym.
That's it.
You know, so
Cowboy mentality.
yeah, it's a cowboy mentality. So it is what it is. But what other artists in Tucson influence you creatively?
I feel like there's a lot, bro. Like the cats that I run with are a big influence. They inspire me to be better.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people in this city that are super, super talented. And I just happen to be friends with them. But their encouragement, their inspiration, the mindset of not giving up has been a true inspiration for me. Like the Tommy Wills, the Marley B's, you got the Spirituals. Shout out to that whole camp. They're like super, super good, bro. There's a lot of people in this city that, like even producer wise, there's just people that are fucking crazy talented here, bro. And I get to come across them, and it's like not even on no rap shit. Like I know these dudes, like personally, and to see what they go through to make their dreams come true. Yeah, you know, it's crazy to me. Yeah, you know, like even let's say Young Me. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I've seen him fucking grind this shit the fuck out, bro. Oh yeah. I remember him being at fucking what was the Mr. Rags in Tucson Mall, and he'd be out there passing out his CD, hustling. Yeah, you know what I mean. You had like
his drive is endless, and
crazy. Like even like the Fats, LV, and all them, bro. Like they really put in the work, and we seen this, you know what I mean? The first person I ever seen that really like inspired me was fucking Casino Chip. And I remember seeing him, I think it was either in the Source magazine or Double XL magazine in the back, and he had an Arizona jersey on. Yeah, bro, fucked me up the first time I seen that.
Yeah, and he was a hooper in his day too. Last state championship at Troy High School. Okay. He was a starting point guard. They used to call him Jukebox. He had a nasty wiggle and handle. Okay, for sure. He was nice and talk shit in New York. Yeah, loud. I'm gonna do this and that, nigga. What's up? You know, double life, street life, hooper, that type of legend. Like so, he's been doing it forever.
Yes, I'm telling you, the first time I seen him in that magazine, I was like, oh shit. Yeah. So like, you know, it's just different times, different eras. You know, like. My homeboys, Jiving Scientists, let's just take them for instance. Like they took me on my first tour. It wasn't nothing crazy. I think it's 4 days, 5 days, but they showed me the mentality to have to be on tour. And I'm talking about thugging it the fuck out. You know what I mean? Sleeping on people's floors. There's 12 of us sleeping on the floor. And we all here for one reason, and it was music. You know what I mean? So I learned a lot from them, bro. Like, you know, the big oxes that was around, all that shit. And it's crazy, like what they were doing back then wasn't almost like, it's not as, it's so much freely now. Like it's accepted now. And back then they was almost like, excuse me, the rebels of the city trying to just sneak into these venues to do these rap shits. So I take, bro, like inspiration from everybody.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned those names, because the primary objective of this show, even the people, the collective that we have, from y'all, we can branch out and touch those names.
Oh yeah,
like that.
For sure. And they did.
So they get their flowers.
Man, let's even go back to fucking Swindo. Come on, man.
Reggie, you
know what I mean? And like,
he's one of the most talented people I've
known him and his family since I got to Tucson. Like his mom and my mom are friends. You know what I mean? They go to church. You know what I mean? So I've seen him, bro. Like, dude had his own movie at the fucking theater at Elcon.
He could play any instrument. He can build anything, manufacture anything from fucking scratch. Like,
his ice cream truck was legendary through the city.
Everything.
Like what?
Yeah.
This nigga was running around selling his CDs out of an ice cream truck on D's.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that shit was inspiring, bro.
Yeah.
So it's always much love and respect to those guys, man. Because I know what I shouldn't say I know what they had to go through. I seen what they went through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I always respected it. So I always try to show them love when I can.
Yeah, and they paved the way.
Yeah.
As far as from a business perspective, what was the moment you realized, hey, I think I can really do this with my craft and music?
Probably like, see, it's weird, bro, because when it comes to like I've sold out shows for my Simplicity party, my first album release party in 2012. I think we were probably like 10 people away from capacity. First album release party ever. And I had the support of the city. It was insane. It was crazy. And I'll go back a little bit before that. We had a meet and greet at the Rep TUC the day of the album release party, right?
Yeah.
And it was literally like 3 people came in for the meet and greet.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is gonna be bad.
Yeah.
This is gonna, you know what I mean? This is gonna be terrible. Bro, we show up to the show and it's literally a couple of people away from being sold out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was on a Saturday. I had to go to work Monday, and that shit humbled the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
It was like, you're this king, you're this god on this stage, and then when you go back a couple days later, you're this peasant that's at work, working for somebody else.
Yeah.
So at that moment, I realized like, maybe I should be trying to do this music shit more than I'm putting into this work. But I think the one thing that's always kept me, like, I've had a job since I was 14 years old. On my 14th birthday, I went and got a job working at a grocery store because I wanted these Emmett Smiths that was coming out. And I knew my mom wasn't going to be able to, you know what I mean? Like, I knew she wasn't going to pay $119 for these kicks, but I wanted them. So I went and got a job, and I've always had a job, bro. Even through everything I've done, I've always had a job. Like, my kids can't eat off of my dreams.
Yeah.
So I got 4 kids. They need a place to stay. They need somewhere stable.
Right.
So I've always been on, I don't want to say teetered the fence between music and working, but I have. But it's worked for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I wouldn't have it any other way. Yeah. Like, I haven't reached that moment to where I'm like, fuck this job.
Yeah.
I'm finna go do rap yet. Yeah. It hasn't come yet.
Yeah.
And that's okay, because the shit that I've succeeded in, most people wouldn't even do it if they didn't have a job and focus on their music. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, so I've always had a balance of that, and that's a fucking hell of a balance to juggle.
Yeah.
Of trying to go to work, trying to do rap, trying to hit out of state shows, to go on tour, you know. And I'm not gonna lie, bro. I've missed a couple tours where I probably should have went, and I didn't because I didn't know if I was gonna come back and my kids will have somewhere to stay. You know what I mean? Like, if I lose this job, like, bro, like, I've been working literally at my job right now, damn near almost 20 years, bro. Yeah. And I wouldn't have it any other way. Yeah. Because that job has helped me build character. It's helped me learn people. It's helped me, bro, like, my last 3 bosses that I had, either them or their kids have been fan of my music. Yeah. So I remember when Murs was like, hey, we going on this Icebox tour. We gonna be gone for this amount of days. Oh, bro, I was stressing it. I was like, fuck. Like, yo, let me go see if I can get this time off. Man, I ran in. He was like, yep, and you're going with Murs? Oh, my son loves Murs. Yeah. And my son's a fan of your music. Man, don't even trip. Yeah. And I was able to do that. So I've been able to go back and forth, man. I'll never tell a motherfucker that a job is done. I always think that's a misconception for people. You just got to find the right job for you.
Like you was talking about Mob earlier. I remember from the movie Road to Perdition. one of the mob bosses was like, yo, what we do after work makes us rich.
Exactly.
So I always apply that, but I'm so glad you put emphasis on that, because a lot of people, they disregard that, and it's not reality.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that people like, that is the, like, people try to make that shit normal, and it's not, bro. Like you said, like, I'm finna take this job and I'm gonna go invest it in what I really want to do in life. Yeah. Whether it takes me fucking 5 years, 25 years, as long as I know I'm working towards my dream, I'm okay with that. And I've always been okay with the long road. I've always been okay with the scenic route, bro. Yeah. Always. That's like, if you get it fast, you won't respect it enough. No. You know, that's one thing like Dope Money used to teach me. As fast as you get it, as fast as you spend it. And so I always put that shit into like in life in general. Like, if you give it to me right now, man, I'm not gonna appreciate it unless I worked for it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, motherfuckers, get a job. Yeah. Pay for your dream. Figure it out.
Yeah. And the fact that, you know, you said on your 14th birthday, you went and got a job. That's what also separates you, because it's like, you know what it is to commit to something. Yeah. You know what it is to have, you know, determination, drive.
Bro, the dude gave me the job because I came up on my birthday. He was like reading over the application. He was like, wait, today's your birthday? I was like, yeah. He was like, and you came and got a job? Yeah. Like, yo, these Emmett Smiths is coming out, bro. You not understanding, you know what I mean?
Cash. Yeah. Back to
and
the
I
like
that's you know, I'm a sneaker fan, man. So that's just something that's always just been a part of me.
My kick's different. Like
yeah.
You just posted the other day, I was rolling. You said, make sure your shoes is clean.
Yeah, bro, because I feel like that shit's important, man. Yeah. You know, people, and it's crazy, like, I don't want to say the world is shallow, but the first thing a person does, they walk up to you, they look down at your feet.
They look at your shoes.
And it's people will treat you how your shoes look. And it shouldn't be like that.
It shouldn't.
But at the same time, like, if you're keeping your shoes clean, that lets me know you're putting a little bit of effort into your everyday thing. You know what I mean? Or if you iron your shirt. Yeah. Like, I gotta use an iron, bro. Yeah. Like, there's no way. Like, I enjoy ironing. Yeah. Which is weird, but because I know how it presents. When you see it, you like, damn, that's a crisp ass tee. You know what I mean? Like, I hit this motherfucker with the iron and some starch. Like,
it's a sense of pride. It's a sense of pride, you know. And it's funny, like, on the flip side, one of my best friends, every time you see him, he might have some dirty kicks, you know. And his fucking shirts is never ironed. I don't think he ever seen an iron in his life. But this dude will have like 50 different gigs and side hustles. Like, he gets to the bag.
And see, I respect that too.
He's just like, bro, I don't give a damn about this. I'm going.
I respect that shit too. Yeah, I respect a motherfucker who damn near look bummy, but bank account is crazy. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like, I get the both sides of each coin. You know what I mean. Yeah. But there's just certain motherfuckers that don't put no effort into just looking like nothing. You know what I mean? The motherfucker will jump on a camera or something, shirt looking crazy. Like, no, that ain't it, bro. Like, you got to be presentable when it comes to certain things. You know what I mean? Like,
and that's part of your package as an artist. Yeah. You know, because followers, fans, friends, family, the city on your back, they're gonna examine that.
Yeah, they be looking at it.
And part of you always got the style down pat, so that always is gonna work for you.
And it's crazy, like, I wasn't raised by my dad, but he's the exact same way. Like, him and I are like to the T when it comes to like dressing. You know what I mean? Like, he's a little bit overboard than me. He'll match his whole shit from head into old school player. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I got that from him. He coordinate to the inside shit matcher. Yeah, that's him. But it feels good though, man. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's you get up and you look like you dress for success, man.
Yeah. And for us, you know, it's a different mentality.
Yes, sir.
Like, hey, you know, for have-nots or whatever, like, we want to look and feel a certain way.
Yeah. That's like sneaker culture. Yeah. Like, I feel like sneaker culture is all fucked up right now. Yeah. it was like a symbol, bro, of kicks. You know what I mean? Like I grew up having 2 pair of shoes, one to run around playground and wear to school, and then some dress shoes. Yeah, you know what I mean? And you had to try to keep those as clean as you could, or they finna motherfucking roast your ass at school. I done got my ass ate up at school about some kicks.
And don't fuck around and have a growth spurt, something like that.
Come on, man.
Yeah,
through the school year too. Don't do that.
Yeah, I remember one of my homeboys in junior high. He went through a little growth spurt. That's what made me think of it. And he had his shit up here, high waters, you know, shoes were snug on his feet. You know, I was like, you ain't even fat and your shit looking snug. Like, you know, and he was like, hey man, it's times is, you know.
Times is hard.
But that's what it is, man. But
I'll never forget going school shopping. It had to be 7th grade, maybe 8th grade. I had to get my fucking kicks from Kmart. Yeah. Kmart had these Airwalks. Yeah. But the Airwalks look like Pumas. Yeah. I was like, yo, I'm grabbing these. Like, these is finna be the ones right here, bro. Like, if I'm gonna get clowned for anything, it's gonna be these motherfuckers right here, bro. And I remember I got them. And then I remember, I think we went to the mall or something like the next day, and I stole these fat laces to put in there, because I'm like, I'm finna really make these bitches look like Pumas. I'll put the fat laces in there and shit. And bro, I remember this one kid tore my ass up wearing them shits, bro. But
because it's always somebody watching.
Exactly. And it's crazy. And it was just like, yo, you like really made fun of me for having shoes on my feet. Like they was clean. They just wasn't Nikes. They wasn't Adidas back then. But it showed me like the mentality of people. It's crazy because I got that Airwalk symbol right here on my hand. I tattooed on it. Yeah. Because it was like that. Like, and it also showed me like I really didn't give a fuck at the same time. Right. You know what I mean? Because they was clean to me. Right. They was the best thing that my mom could afford at the time. So I'm finna rock these bitches with pride.
So that's a whole nother level of pride. My mom's got me there.
Yeah. For sure.
So fuck what you talking about.
Yeah, like, don't even. Like, I'll take the, you know what I mean?
I'll take that. I'll hold that L. I'll take that L. But, and it's wild because, like, shit. I had homeboys coming up where at lunchtime they be starving. I'm like, man, what, you don't want nothing to eat or whatever? And that's when you see a lot of hustle shit come into play, because they might not eat, or it might be a dice game on the back of the bus, or it might be somebody has some ingenious thing, or, you know, I remember I had a friend who got some toothpicks and he would dip them shits in butter and then put cinnamon on it. And that shit was good. So we'd have a little fucking vial and he'd be walking around the hallways and kids be eating, snapping them shits up. Oh yeah. So his whole mentality was, I'm doing this so I can get the new Jordans or something. You know, so if you had that affinity for kicks or whatever, like, or whatever, you made a way for it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You made a way for it. So that's what it was. But what is it about your art, your work, that brings people consistently to the door and keeps them coming back with your music, your merch, everything?
I think I just try to talk about everyday life that a person that works a 9 to 5 or a person that sells dope can relate to. I realize like how much music really connects with us on a level I don't know if anybody could ever explain, but music kind of like guides our lives, bro. You know what I mean? And the things that I feel like I talk about, somebody struggling to maybe make it through a day-to-day or just even the hour, bro, they can put on my song and be like, all right, man, Cash told me it's gonna be all right. I believe him. And just trying, like, that's my favorite thing to say. Like, when certain songs come on, I'll be like, yo, do you mind if I talk to your soul for a minute? Because your ears is gonna pick it up, but I want your soul to listen to me. You know what I mean? Not just hear me. And people don't understand there's a difference between hearing and listening. So I always like talking to people's soul with my music, bro. I feel like that's the fucking medicine. That's what we need. That's what the world needs. There's so much shit going on in music right now, bro. It's like, it's crazy to me to sit back and see like how much music is coming out, how fast music. People don't sit with music anymore. I remember we used to have to sit with albums and sit for a long time before somebody dropped something else, or that person would drop something else. Like right now, music drops, you'd be like, oh, that's just a classic. Like, wait, what?
So we had to wait.
We had to wait exactly to listen to this, to dissect it. Like going back to what you said, like you repeated my lines. Like we had to sit and understand what the fuck they were saying before we'd be like, that shit's a classic, yo.
Yeah. To this day, I don't hit the skip button because shit, when that came out, albums came out back then, I listened to it from front to back.
Bro.
Even if it was trash, I'm
still gonna listen to it. Yeah.
And I mentally know it'd be like 3, 5, and 9.
Yeah.
Those are the bangers. Everything else, whatever. But it's like I still sit down and listen to the album, still going through it.
Real shit.
So.
And I think just me being just a genuine person, people feel like I don't have to, and I don't lie in my music. Yeah. So they feel the authenticity of it and be like, yo, I can fuck with this. I stand by this guy. That's another thing like people don't realize is when somebody's a supporter of you or a fan of you, like they're vouching for you. You know what I mean? Like you're a part of these people's lives. Yeah. So they look at you in a certain sense to where like you have to hold this certain respect for yourself, and the things that you do in life almost reflects them as a person. Yeah. I think it gets deep like that when it comes to music. So I just, and as much as I really don't care for it, like a part of me likes to share my family on social media, and people love that shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. But at the same time, it's like there be certain shit that I probably should post, but I'd be like, yo, these is my moments. Like, I don't want y'all to have it. So I'm almost selfish in a sense when it comes to that portion of my life. Yeah, because
once you post something, it don't belong to you no more.
Exactly. And so I always, when I see people out or after shows and they be like, oh, I love when you post your family, you do this. A part of me would be like, yeah, that's cool. But I'd be like, I ain't even want to post that shit. But I know, but you know what I mean? Like it's a weird balance when it comes to certain shit like that, bro. I just, as an artist, there's certain stuff I feel like you have to hold to yourself. That you, it's yours. Like that's your moment. Yeah. I don't want to give y'all every single thing of me. And I feel like that's what social media has created. Yeah. They want every fucking aspect of your life. Yeah, you gotta create a dispense for sure. It's I'm gonna dispense just enough. Yeah. But touching back on you as an artist, for me, when I listen to you, it's nothing short of genuine. What you hear is what you get in real life. Yes, every time I come across you, I'm like, he's talking that shit that's really authentic. From how you move to how people respect you as a stomped down, thorough individual in the city, like it comes across in your music. That's love. And I think that's pretty cool because growing up, the people we listened to, we didn't know anything about them. Yeah, not at all. We took their word. Like, and you grow up and you learn certain things and it's like, oh shit. I wish I wouldn't have known this, that, and the third, or whatever. But with you, it's like every line I hear, I'm like, it's genuine. Because of the person he is. Like you said, speak to their souls. Like, I understand that because it's felt. Yeah. And sometimes I always wonder if that shit translate in the music to like who I really, really, truly am. Because you don't have like these, I don't have these conversations with people like this all the time. Yeah. That where we just dissect and be like, yo, this is what I listen to, or this is what I hear when I hear your music, and you're that person. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like it's not, there's no persona. Yeah. I feel like I erased that persona of who's this Cash Lansky cat and then who's this other guy. Like my worlds have merged. Yeah. And it's been beautiful. Yeah. Just your ability to jump in different topics easily and it's natural. Like we were talking about the Late to Do album earlier with the, death is not the answer. Mm-hmm. I feel like you have this ability to drop knowledge, you always drop a gem. I got to, man. You drop like these little gems here and there, and I just be like, I caught that. But you'll also speak like in affirmations.
And I'll give you an example. I think it was like 2017, 18. Correct me if I'm wrong. But you had the song "Shoulda, Coulda, Woulda," and I remember the opening lines. It was an entire affirmation. It was up before the next man.
How bad do you really want it?
How bad do you want it?
Yeah.
Leaning on a kickstand, standing for the moment, gazing in the mirror. Only time I see opponent. Might not speak on everything, but everything is noted.
Yeah. That's crazy, bro.
I wrote the shit down. I'm being dead honest.
That's crazy.
I wrote it down and I was like, that's a fucking affirmation. And the way you connected in the video, you literally hop out the bed.
Yeah.
And get to it. So I was like, yo, like, that's different.
That's another one I felt like people, like even that video was so cold to me, I felt like people slept on that shit.
I ran that shit back about, speaking of work, I ran that shit back about 10 times at work. And you had the Cat Williams skit in it.
Yeah. Shout out to Charlie Mumbles for that beat, man.
Yeah. I mean,
Sonny killed that video.
Both of y'all went to work on it.
Yeah.
But I've been following for quite some time with you. But that song right there, I was like, yeah. That's when I was just like, he needs to be respected on a national level. Like, that was wild to me. That was wild to me. So I always loved that one. Always loved that one. I can tell you that.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
I appreciate you, man. For real. That's fire.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda, never did nothing for you.
Never did nothing for you.
You know, and yeah. That's the line. I be repeating that shit to people. I be telling my nieces and nephews, like, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Always remember that. When you grow up, like, what you did yesterday, you always got to update your resume.
I'm going to tell you where that shit came from. Sister Act.
Okay.
You remember the mom told Lauryn Hill that shit out the window? Shoulda, coulda, wouldas.
Yeah.
Out there, no, you was out there singing your shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Yeah. That's where I kind of got that from and based it off of there. Yeah. But that was real shit, and it was crazy because, like, she really didn't know what she had, though, what her daughter was. You know what I mean? She was just being a parent. Yeah. Just trying to go out, push her kid into the right direction. But shit, man, we never know what the direction is for our kids, man. Yeah. That's why I'm like open for my kids to do anything, bro. Yeah. As long as they willing to put in the work, I'm always gonna be there to support them. Yeah, absolutely. And what advice would you give to someone who's thinking about taking that leap into starting their own business with their craft? Learn the business side of it first. I think that's one thing that's kind of missing when it comes to, like, even just music wise, or even us as people trying to start business. Like, we see people that do it, but we don't have the information behind it. Yeah. You know, it feels like if you jump out there, like, you're destined to fail if you don't have that business side of it first. Necessary. You have to have that knowledge. And we kind of did shit backwards when it came to this music shit. We just wanted to create. We just wanted to be seen and didn't understand the business part of it, paperwork, certain things. And we learned it along the way, and we probably should have learned it earlier. Yeah. And it would have caused us somewhat not much of a headache. We learned a lot of shit as we went. There wasn't anybody to teach us. Yeah. So we had to kind of learn on our own. And now, bro, like, YouTube is at people's fingertips. Like, YouTube University. Come on, man. I use that shit faithfully. Yeah. I learned how to tile my house. I learned how to fucking do my backyard. All this shit that somebody probably should have taught me, but YouTube, you know what I mean? Yeah, it gets you right. It gets you right, bro. Yeah, and it's like, and always study somebody. I always say is like a good thing is study. Me, myself, bro, I study hundreds of people. Yeah. Like, every interaction I have with a person is a studying session. Yeah. Because you never know what you could take from a person. Yeah. Good or bad. Shit, I can learn something bad from a person and be like, oh, I won't do that. Yeah. You showed me not to do that. Yeah. Somebody always said, like, that's a wise man learns from the mistakes of others. A smart man goes through the mistakes of his own, or some shit like that. Yeah. So I've always kept that. Like, I'll let somebody else go through it and see how they move and how it turns out, and be like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. But for me, bro, you can ask anybody. I think I said this on another one. I'm always willing to give information for anybody that needs anything in this city that's coming up. Contacts, emails, a person's IG. Like, I don't hold or harbor information from nobody, bro. You know, and I know people before that would do that shit. I still know people to this day that'll fucking harbor an email and be like, yo, you already used it. You don't even fucking need it. Like, if you know this kid push me in another direction, and we supposed to be bro, you call me your bro, right? Like, you should be like, take this. And I'm the opposite, bro. Like, even if you not my bro, and you just up and coming, and I see you willing to put in the work, here's that, bro. Because that might be the one that you need to change your life. Even if I used it and it didn't work for me, this shit might be the one that you need to fucking send you to the moon. And I'm okay with that, bro. Like, it's good karma.
It's that good karma, you know, giving it the information. My discretion with that is always two things. You know, I try to tap into your level of seriousness. And are you willing to put in the fucking work?
That's it.
Because if I see that you're not doing any of those, that's when I hold the info.
Oh, yeah. Like, and as you should. You know, like, I'm exactly the same, bro. Like, I'm not just finna give it to you just because you want it. You're going to have to show that work somewhat, bro. You have to show me that you're serious about this shit and you want to take it. Like, I'm not going to just give you the information and put my name on there. Like, oh, Cash gave me this, and you fuck this person over. Like,
you fuck the person over, and then, you know, it'll be people that'll try to lily pad off your shoulders. You know, they don't want to put the work in, but you put in a decade. You know, it's like, hold on, I put the fucking work in. Like, you can't just shortcut the line. Like, nah. So
that goes back to that thing, guys. If it's just kind of given to you, you don't respect it.
You don't respect it. You know, and if it's meant for you, shit, it's gonna pop off either way. But in closing, brother, tell the people how they can find you, social media for shows, upcoming album, merch, whatever you want to share.
Everything on all platforms, music platforms is Cash Lansky. Instagram, Southwest Lansky. Facebook is Cash Lansky. I got some shit in the works, bro. I got a show coming up. I don't know when this is going to air, but I got a show coming up December 16th at Thunder Canyon. That's just going to be pretty cool. Lineup is solid. I got some videos we working on right now. I got like, 5 different projects I'm working on right now. Like simultaneously, like bouncing back and forth. When those come together, I'm gonna try to flood next year, bro, with just some super, super dope shit. My shows are gonna be limited next year. I feel like I've reached that point performing in town. I'm just like, it's really gonna be something worth it for me to come out. Out of town, I'm with it. You know, let's book some shit. But in town, it's gonna be very, very limited performances next year.
As it should be, because that magnifies your value.
Exactly.
You know,
and they're like, man, I remember, man, going back to it, we done did so much shows around this bitch. It's like, yo, how many times can we see you really? You know what I mean? And it's cool now because I kind of transitioned into playing with the band now. Shout out to Freddie J and them last night. You know what I mean? And that's a new experience for me. But I fell in love with playing with a band, bro. That's my shit. That's my calling. That's where I need to be, is performing with a live band. Because I feel like it just opens up the whole world when it comes to being able to create, when it comes to be able to perform. Like I said, man, performing is my favorite fucking thing to do when it comes to rap. Like, rap's cool. You know I can rap, but can you perform these songs and make people feel the way that you feel? And that's the, can you get an experience from the song, you know? And to go back to what we were talking about earlier, when I recently saw you at the show, like the song Time and Impeccable, you're saying performing with the band and that type of, choir, the song, like, that's where I was like, yo, like, and again, with your voice and your cadence, your delivery, like, I want to see that, like, that stadium music, like, because it's there. Thank you,
there. You can feel the vibration, you know, with the people that were there, because I'm looking around, it's like, you feel that? So,
you know, another thing, my favorite thing is to perform in a room full of people that have no idea who I am.
Yeah.
That's always been my favorite like challenge when it comes to performing.
Yeah.
Just to see if I can win you over. If I can win you over, and even if it's just a nod for fucking 10 seconds, I'm like, you felt something. You know what I mean? And that lets me know as an artist is, okay, I'm painting this picture that I'm trying to paint and convey to them. So that's my favorite thing is to perform in front of people who have no idea who I am.
Yeah. And I caught your eyes when I was watching you perform, and I seen how you was heat seeking. Yeah. Like, let me see.
Oh yeah.
What's the one?
I like looking people in the eyes. Yeah.
Like you hit a bar, and then you pause and look at somebody, and I was like, yeah.
That's my shit, man. I love that.
Yeah, and I could tell. That's why I said like he's a natural performer, so it connects to hear you say that's your favorite part is performing.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that, bro.
Yeah. So.
Shout out to my mom, man. My mom used to make me go to this thing called preempt program when I was in 5th grade, 6th grade. Real quick, I'll wrap it up. And they used to make us do speeches. Yeah. You had to get a famous black person or a revolutionary black person, and you would have to become them, and you would have to talk in front of 50, 60 people, all the parents of the kids that came, and then all the counselors and stuff that was there. And like they would make us do this like 6 times a year. So you had to pick 6 different people, you know what I mean? And like Malcolm X was one, Marcus Garvey was one. What's the tennis player guy's name?
Arthur Ashe.
I had to be Arthur Ashe. So I had like the shorts on, and you had to dress up and really speak as this people. And I remember like we would sit there and we would go over the words, and then rest in peace, Dr. Thomas, she would be like, say it with heart. Yeah. Say it with your chest. Like this was before Kevin Hart. And she would like this older black lady from LA, didn't play no games. And she would make us say this shit firmly to people. She was like, I need to believe that that's who you are. Yeah. And I took that shit, and that's why I want people to believe who Cash Lansky was. Yeah, and that's beautiful, man, because we don't understand how people like that are so prominent in shaping our lives. Facts, bro. So first of all, shout out to mom. Shout out to the moms, hell yeah. Because, and she forced us to go kind of, but then we fell in love with the shit, man. Yeah. We fell in love with it. Yeah. And look, fucking 20 something years, 30 something years later, here I am still using those tools in life. Yeah. It's crazy. Well, it's panning out for you, brother. And we rocking with you heavy, the whole city of Tucson. Love, man. We love you. Appreciate y'all. So we gonna be with you along the journey. Thank you for coming through. My God. Appreciate you, man. For real. Yeah. I've been consistent. Heart of a bullet, I play like a biscuit. You can tell that I'm listening. Invested in me, now we wait on the interest. I need the big lights, keep the chain. Gotta take a shot, beat the aim. Fortune is a must, fuck the fame. Please don't compare, we're not the same. Timing impeccable. I'm off the edible. Feeling incredible. Don't let it get to your head. God bless the dead.